Hi everybody, welcome back. So another day, another ride. I'm out doing a gravel ride. It's really just a spot check, some springs out in the desert. I have an idea of doing a 5 to 6 day trip, kind of a loop, 300 to 350 miles. So there's 2 springs out here I got to check and see if they're viable or if they're just cattle tanks. So that's what I'm doing today. I'll pull a map out later, kind of show you the route I'm thinking. It's got ice on it for this morning. It'll melt off at some point. I'm at Lower Stonehouse. Looks like the spring comes into there. It looks like, I think the overflow comes down, and this is the overflow. So there's fish in both of these. Cleaning everything, so super clean. Not bad. During the summer, you'll see more algae. It'll get hotter, of course. Right now it's down because it's end of January, February. Smart though, putting fish in. Real smart. There's the overflow. All right, so I'm at Upper Stonehouse. Water's clean. Fish in here, same as the other one's clean. I think in the summer there gets a little bit of algae in here, no big deal, but yeah, water runs year round. It's a little windy. It's always windy through this canyon every time I'm here. Beautiful. You can see for miles, miles and miles. So Let's go check, see if there's water up here. Should be a couple springs, hopefully. I believe on the map there it shows 2 springs. There's one here and there's one down there, and then there's like water everywhere coming through, right? I think this is called Tunnel Springs. And looking at it, I don't know if there was some mining here or the farmers moved some dirt around, but so yeah, so fenced off, so I'm assuming maybe some mining and the water came up when they were doing it. Pipe runs down, so here's one of them. Other one's just down the hill. It's a round cattle tank. I'll get to that. There's like this whole area is a big spring, but concrete needs some work. There's no fish in this one. You can see the difference. It's too bad. Probably these are projects in my mind, BLM and all these guys. I'd come back in, refix this with concrete, right, and then throw some fish in, redo the hose, and fix. That's stuff in my mind. I always think about fixing stuff, just improving things. So you come out here and grab some nice clean water. So I just finished charging the bike with the battery I had. For reference again, this is the 480 watt Ride 60 Fazua. It's the bigger battery. I got out here 14%, so roughly 22 miles. I did a lot of climbing in sand. It zaps the power, you know, when you do this. So battery took it back up to 43%, which is what 29%. And it looks like when I was, you know, through these videos, sometimes I'm getting 32%, sometimes I'm getting 36%. Today I got 29. So it's cold. It might be maybe low 40s right now. When I started, it was, you know, it was 30 degrees below zero. So cold weather definitely is zapping power out of these batteries. So I brought in a solar panel. It's a 36 watt mini solar, foldable solar panel. It's got that, you know, USB-C now, 12 volt, 12. So, I don't know how much power this is going to do. So I'm going to, you know, like I said, I got to do a few videos. So I'm going to wait 30 minutes. I don't have a meter. I can't check, see how much power is back in there, of course. I'll wait 30 minutes and then I'll throw it back in the bike, and maybe that might give me an idea. And, you know, solar is weird. You know, sometimes you just need that blue sky and it works, you know. Lately the skies are white, so solar panels don't work as efficient. But I think you can bike pack with some creativity and in and out, but with some solar panel, probably 2 batteries, a charger, of course. I know this is a lot of stuff to haul in to charge a bike, but I'll work on this and try to streamline all this. But I think 2 batteries, pack it all in with the charger and all that, and then you could swap. And then maybe if you need to, every 3rd or 4th day, you might have to swing into a hotel or, you know, a city to charge. That big battery, when you go to bigger battery, one of the downfalls, it's 4 hours. It's 4 hours to charge that whole battery. The wall charger, I think it's 3 amps, top of my head. That's one of the issues. I think Bosch, they had one at some point. I think they're 5 or 6 amps, so they charge quicker. Fazua, that's what I say. Fazua needs to do a portable charger. It needs to be a faster charger, and that might help cut down that time. And you think, oh, 4 hours, but, you know, I'll be out here probably 2 hours on the side of the mountain messing around trying to put some power back in. And of course, like I said, if you could, if we change everything and we could go back to hot swapping batteries, you don't have to carry all this stuff in, of course. But yeah, I'm just trying stuff, see if it works. I think you can bike pack with an electric gravel bike. And just I'll work through it. But anyways, yeah, so trying some creativity. We'll see how this goes, see how much that charges. Yeah, I'm drinking a 20 ouncer today. Big old 20 ouncer. Thirsty. Connect. That's a hard pass on this one. Pull water from the top. That's what I would do from that other spring. So I'm gonna head up back the same way I came. I'm out of time. I don't have enough sunlight to do all this. I wanted to head over to Juniper Spring. I'm not gonna make it today. You can head this way, and 3/4 away that valley, there's a road that's going to cut back up, and then it's going to circle back around the mountain range, so you can go that way. A lot of climbing today. Oh man. right, so I've got a map out here, kind of give everybody what I was doing. Here's Reno, Pyramid Lake. We've got Unionville, Lovelock. Fallon's like right here. So, trying to build a bikepacking route through the desert, of course. So, coming out of Reno, probably do one night here at Pyramid Lake. Then come down the 446. Right here, there's a small town. There's a gas station so you can get water and things like that. I think this is roughly 35 or 37 miles. And then if you camp in this area all the way back up to the very top, this is Winnemucca Lake, it's dry lake bed. That's roughly, I think it's 45 to 47 miles. So, packing your water. There's basically, you can ride through here. There's a couple of gas stations and stuff, of course, but next place you're going to get water is right here. You're going to load up. At least that's what I'm thinking. And then this is all asphalt. You're heading out to Gerlach, right? Empire, Burning Man stuff is up here. So you get up here, probably camp tonight up here, and then get up and ride this road, the 2033. There's two springs I showed you earlier, upper and lower Stonehouse. Those are perfect. Those are good water. And then come down here, and then I took the 2084 over, and I think I'm right here where I believe it's called Tunnel Springs is where I was at. Juniper Spring, I think, is where the horse is. And so from here, here's roughly 22 miles. From here, you'd have to go up and go around Black Mountain this way or up through here. I think there's a spring up in here, Black Springs. I haven't been there, so I have to check that one. But you're going to come up over here. And then over here in this range, there's a BLM land, little small section. There's a water, campgrounds and stuff. I got to recheck that one. So, Tunnel Springs to that, I think it's like 37 miles, so it's a pretty long haul through the desert to get water. There might be one here. You could head up to Juniper Springs, but it's kind of out of the way. You have to ride up the mountain and back down. Stay the night up here. I think that's the plan. And then ride down, do one night. So from here to Lovelock City, 32, 33 miles, I think. So the Safeway, grocery store, a couple of gas stations, some places to stay. So do a hotel and then ride down the back way up over Wild Horse. I think it's Wild Horse Pass. I got to check that name, but there's a pass up here, and then you're in the Carson Sink. This is all like playa dirt and water, and you either have to go up and around, or you have to go along the mountain range and come down over to 95 and then down into Fallon. So from Lovelock down over roughly 68 miles, I think. So a long day. You might have to split that. Probably camping at the top. I would just do one night there and then do another night and finish off in Fallon. I think that's kind of the plan, what I'm thinking. So anyways, yeah, so that's where I was riding today, up here through these mountain range. And then I'll get out here, spot check. I'm close. I think I've got most of this built out. And then we'll see. This will be probably something you do in the springtime or late in the fall. It wouldn't do the desert during the summer. It's just too hot, and you have to pack in too much water, and I think it'd just be too much weight trying to get across everything. So anyways, that's where I'm at today, up in here. So I'm just finishing up, a little sunburned. I'm tired. No one tells you when you ride in the winter, and especially when you ride out in the desert, it just wears you out. So I'm a little tired getting back to the vehicle, charging the bike. How did the solar panel work out there? It just didn't work correctly the way I wanted to. I'll run it a few more times, but when the skies are white, solar panels just don't work. So I got to work on that. That's another project. 3 out of the 4 springs I've got finished. I think that 4th one I wanted to get out to. I just don't have enough sunlight to do all this. It's winter. So another month I'll head out there and check that one. But yeah, this is part of the building routes, building the process, trying to do a desert route. It's tough because there's no, there's no shade anywhere, and you got to make sure that water's legit and it's going to work, because you don't want to get stuck somewhere. Giving you an example, so from top of Winnemucca, this dry lake bed, out to Lovelock, I think it's probably going to be between 85 and 90 miles. So you think of Self Bailout, you get halfway in, you either have to come out or you have to ride all the way back in. So it's a lot of self-support, and you just got to make sure everything's correct. So that's what I'm trying to do, just make sure everything, I'll be safe and everything. So anyways, thanks for coming along.